Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. So, hello and welcome to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And today, as you can see in the background, we will go on with the definite book of body language. But I just remember now that I said yesterday that I probably won't do 2 episodes after each and another, which I'm quite doing right now. So I might be just like doing something else for the next episode today, because today, as always on the weekends, there will be 2 episodes. But I'm pretty much fucking pumped to go through this fucking summary right now, because there's a lot of fucking value in it. And I know it because I've been going through it before already. So we've gone through the kind of introduction, and we started with the hands yesterday. So yesterday's episode, or the first episode for, it was the last episode for yesterday, was quite short, because I had to go to the supermarket to get something for my girlfriend because she couldn't, and I only had quite half an hour left before I also had to go to the train. So everything was a little bit complicated, but today it is different, because today I have enough time for everything, and that's so fine, so fucking fine. I think we have been... I think we will just go ahead with law of cause and effect. So Alan and Barbara Pease say that if we force ourselves to use more open palm keys, just our tendency to tell lies diminishes, and most people find it difficult to lie with their palms open, which is just kind of crazy. And I do think, I'm just thinking right now, if there is any reason for this to happen, if because I'm doing this one here, why I do not lie, or the chances are lower for me to lie. So the law of cause and effect also says that if you are not feeling defensive but cross your arms, then you will start feeling defensive. This is what Tony Robbins refers to when he says emotion is created by motion, which is actually the thing I've been talking about yesterday as well. And I do just got to really understand what Tony Robbins meant by saying, emotion is created by motion. I think it's kind of true. I do not know. It's quite complicated, but I do know, and I do believe in that people feel more defensive if they have crossed arms, even though they just, before they have crossed their arms, didn't feel that defensiveness in their body. And so this is only caused by them just, crossing their arms. I do understand this, and I do kind of believe in this, but I do not know if it's also, the way you sit, definitely the way you talk, because you can definitely understand and see when someone is passionate about something, because they are really passionate with their voice and their tone. And actually, I'm not sure, to be honest, but I think there is something about it. So in the last twist, if you speak with your palms open, your speaking partner will also start feeling more pressure to be honest and truthful. That's totally true. So if you just do present something with a partner, maybe talk to them and say to them, just have your palms open. I do just want to do it a little bit. Now I'm quite in the center. I do not know. So palm power. The palm up is no threatening, will the palm down signals authority. So palm down, like this, is authority, and palm up is not threatening. So if you ask someone to do something for you with the same voice, tone, and facial expression, the palm down will sign you are pleading to them to do it, and the other person will feel no pressure to do it and will not feel threatened. So if you have, I think there is some kind of mistake. In the first paragraph they say the palm is The, the palm up is non-threatening, while the palm down signals authority. So if you ask someone to do something for you with the same voice tone and facial expressions, the palm down will sign you are pleading them to do it, and the other person will feel no pressure to do it, will not feel threatened. I think they just refer to the palm up motion. So if you do speak with someone or please someone to do something with a palm up expression, they will feel no pressure, I think. So asking with palm down will make the other person feel like you have given them, palm down and palm down. So the first one should definitely be palm up. Asking with the palm down will make the other person feel like you have given them an order, and he may start feeling antagonistic towards you. If the person is of equal status, he might resist the palm down and is more likely to comply with the palm up gesture. Just imagine, say Barbara and Ellen Pease, if the Nazi salute had been with the palm up, people would have laughed at it. This was then actually something, as I was going through it in my leisure time, was something that I quite had a little bit to laugh about, because, just thinking of this gesture the other way around, so with the palm up, is, first of all, it doesn't work that well, at my point of view. Second of all, it's definitely right. So also when couple walking holding hands, the dominant partner will walk slightly ahead with his hand on top and the palm facing backward. Because the palm facing backward would be like this, and so this would be a palm down sign. If he is like this, or she, so like so, no, like so, do you see it? Like this, then this is a palm up gesture, and it will definitely then just, as they say it at least, sign something like, non-threatening. So LRP says that looking at who's got the upper hand immediately reveals who wears the pants in the house. The palms closed and finger pointing is one of the most annoying gestures anyone can use. If you're delivering a presentation, the finger pointing will turn off your audience, make them like you the least of all three, and even remember less of what you said. The palm up was the favorite. So like, can I show this? Like this, if you just, no. If you'd be like, like this, so this is my thing, but not like this, only like this, or with the palm up, not palm down, or like this, this is my thing. I think that's totally right, and I subconsciously always do it, which is kind of a great thing for me. So the palm up was the favorite, and if you tend to use the finger pointing a lot, the definite book of body language recommends instead to use the OK gesture, touching your thumb and index finger in a circle. The OK gesture will make you authoritative but not aggressive. And it's like this, like, here, it's like when you're drawing something or writing something, you just, point at things and show the lines. And, a professor of mine, or a teacher of mine, we call them professors, but actually they are only teachers. A teacher of mine always did this, kind of great teacher. He was a typography teacher. I do not have him right now, which is kind of pity because he had so much knowledge, but he really said that most of the time what you did was just shit. This is the other way around, but you knew that he has a lot of knowledge and that he knows what he's speaking about, which is then you aren't then like, just fuck up, man, this is not the truth. My design is good. But he then said, no, but you didn't do this because you knew that he has a lot of knowledge. Handshake analysis, and this is something that also quite people do on YouTube. So there are videos where just people analyze the handshakes of politicians and other celebrities or other people in general, which is then quite interesting to see. And it was also interesting to see some kind of conversations from Obama versus some other guy. I don't know. I'm not that educated in the United States, way of voting and how this whole procedure goes. I don't know that, but it was just really funny to see. And if you just keep attention to their gestures and their body language, you can definitely see, who is stronger or who is kind of better. So when people turn your hand down and your palm up, they are trying to dominate the handshake. So when people turn your hand down and your palm up, so turn your hand down and your hand, like, so that their hand is above your hand, because yours is then facing downwards and yours is facing upwards. So people turn your hand down so that their palm is, above yours. So they're trying to dominate the handshake, definitely. Barbara and Alan Pease study of 350 executives showed that 88% of men and 31% of women use the dominant handshake position. Power and control issues, say Pease, are generally less important to women. I think that's totally true. Some women will give men a soft handshake in some social contexts to show submissiveness as a way to highlight their femininity. I do really hate if somebody, especially men, give me just a really light and such a fucked up handshake. I do want to, really have a grab on them. I do want to have a great handshake. It's only my subjectiveness, but I do think, I do like to have a great handshake. But yeah, so where did I stop? It should not be used in business contexts, though. Women display high femininity in business meetings are not taken seriously. Pease adds that it doesn't mean she needs to act in a masculine way, but she needs to avoid too much femininity, signals such as soft handshakes, short skirts, and high heels. Yeah, this is pretty interesting because in German you say high heels, and I just said high heels, like a short skirt or a soft handshake. Not like, it's one word, but it's actual two words besides that. But I actually do think that wearing a short skirt in a business interview, especially, or just a job interview, would not be the best idea, because I do think people do not want this, especially when your boss is a man. I don't know what is up when your boss is a woman, but never mind. So handshake to create rapport. To create rapport, make sure that your and your partner's palms are both in vertical position and apply the same pressure or receive. Yeah, I always try to really keep attention to how hard I'm, or how much pressure I receive or give, because I do not really want to crush people's hands, and I often kinda feel like I'm doing it, and but this is not good. Definitely not good. Disarming a power player. Trying to push their palm down, say Barbara and Alan Pease, is typical of the overbearing person. Alan and Barbara Pease do a fantastic job in explaining a few practical moves to avoid accepting the submissive position. A simple one is the double hander. Putting your second hand on top of his, grab his wrist as a last resort, or for another genius technique, look at the pictures here. And I do want to look at these pictures here. Yeah, like, she's pretty honest, you can see. For the podcast listeners, there is now a picture of Oprah, I guess. I think it's Oprah. I do want to see if I can spot her name anywhere. But I think it's Oprah, yeah. And she does, like, both palms facing towards you if she is looking at you, practically or theoretically. Just all people are open. They just greet. This is definitely something. So there is a person who is, or a man especially, who is having his hands in his pockets, and he definitely feels like a little bit defensive, and and Angela Merkel, or Angela Merkel, however you would say it in English. So the German, don't know what it is called in English. So she does just make a sign like the Nazi gesture or the Nazi greeting, but a little lower, so to just, show her authority and her power. Hitler. Never mind. Takes too much time to go through these things. So disarming a power player, definitely use the two-hand thing, but I do have seen that you should never quite use the two-handed thing just because you then show or make the same mistake to really, put your authority above the ones you're shaking the hands with, which then means, yeah, you should definitely not do it if you are not really into, showing your authority or showing that you're more powerful than the other person. Yeah, so there are a few situations when the power player goes well beyond turning your hand down and crushes your bones or starts pulling you into show pure physical dominance. I wrote an article here based on a couple real life experiences. How to disarm an alpha male handshake. And this is actually something, if I do quite remember exactly, this is something Donald Trump did as well. But he wasn't doing the hand above thing or some kind of double-handed thing grab. He pulled the other person towards him to show kind of his strength. I do have to see. And this makes it clear now because you can see. This is just a thumbnail of Donald Trump shaking hands with some Chinese or Japanese or just, it's just an Asian guy, definitely something higher in politics, and he just uses the double-handed grab thing. So he's just shaking the hands normally, puts his hand above, so he's actually then or would then be in the submissive position, but then he puts his hand onto the other guy's hand as well, so it definitely feels like dominant. And I think it is dominant because you then could just actually pull the other person just way better than the other person you. So you just, would have the better position in terms of a fight or in terms of something just physical. As I see it right now, it's always quite interesting to see all these body language things in terms of why it is like it is. If it's in terms of, nature gave it to us as a protection or as some sort else, or if it's just in terms of our psychological evidence or whatever. So this is just really interesting to then see, yeah, you're doing this because of this, and he's doing that because of that. And if you just know this, you can actually, at my point of view, just really partitionate or just use it way better than actually without practically or theoretically knowing it. But yeah, so the double hander, putting your hand or your second hand on top gives the feeling that the initiator is trustworthy and honest. But if you use it on someone you have just met, it can leave the receiver feeling suspicious about you. Indeed, the double hander, say Barbara and LMPs, is a miniature hug and should only be used when a hug would also be acceptable. Pretty interesting. I do feel like nevertheless it is, or anyways, that it is some kind of, showing a little bit more dominance as well. But yeah, actually, because it's just really more than a handshake at my point of view. It's a double handshake. No, but it really also feels like, it's more than a handshake. So handshakes of control, two-handed handshakes. Barbara and LP say that the intention of two-handed handshakes is to show sincerity or a depth of feeling. It's a bit like using the second hand to show the willingness of hugging the other person. So the farther up it goes, the more intimacy it shows. It's also an invasion of personal space, so they are only acceptable when the person feels close to the other. If the intimate feelings are not, or intimate, it's intimate. Feelings are not mutual, or the initiator doesn't have a good reason for using both hands, the receiver will likely be suspicious. Unless you have a good reason, it can be political or business suicide. Oh, just thought now comes something positive, but actually, pretty much the other side. So you can use the two-handed handshake to reclaim some power if you're on the left side of a picture or video and your partner will hands get the upper hand. Yeah, definitely. And this is just what Trump was doing, because I think this Asian guy or this Asian politician was actually trying to put his hand down. Then he was like, yeah, you know what? I give a fuck about this. I just put my other hand on top of yours. So Alan and Barbara Pease go on to detail a few common handshake blunders, among which the Vice and Bone Crusher used out of a desire to dominate and assume early control of the relationship or put people in their place. So sometimes the person using feels weak and is himself afraid of being dominated. The socket wrencher, such as pulling the arm in, wants the encounter to be on his terms. Okay. It's actually in the hope that you get as much value out of it as I'm doing. So I do have gone through it in my leisure time, as I was just telling you 500 times before. But it's actually most of the time, I'm just looking for some things that I could put in my posts so that I have something. But not quite often, I really want to learn things. Through these things and through these podcast episodes and through these YouTube videos, I do really get the chance and get some kind of the time, what feels for me like a great time to just learn things and, just talk about things, which is the great thing, because I do get value for myself, but in my progress, I do also create value for other people, which is pretty important for me because I do want to give you something. It's not always I want to just take everything for me or for myself. I do want you to be at your best as well, and I do really want you to be happy. Really happy, really fucking happy. There's quite nothing more at my point of view. I wish you more than happiness, because I know that with happiness, all other things come along, which is money and fulfillment and all other things that are here that everybody is kind of, thriving for or is wanting. So, yeah. And I hope you have a wonderful day, by the way. Yeah. So the magic of smiles and laughter. Smiling and laughing are universal signs of happiness. You don't say. But the actual thing is, smiling. So if you're smiling at somebody, the chances are really high that he's smiling at you back because you are smiling, not because they're happy or because they are just, read a joke or whatever or thought about something funny. No, because you have smiled. And so this is just, I think they also say it, this is really the easiest way to just some kind of influence people. But I do just think about it is it also working on social media? Because I think not, actually. Because if there's actually somebody smiling on social media, I do just look at the picture, think, I guess, nothing, and then go on. So, yeah, but real and fake smile. The definitive book of body language tells us something we have already seen a few times. An honest smile involves the muscles around the eye. So now for the YouTube viewers, which is, I think you have heard this before, but if I smile like this, you can see my eye muscles do not really move anywhere. If I smile like this, you see that I can't really see anything, or you can't even see my eyes. Yeah. So honest smile involves the muscle around the eyes. The muscle that tends our mouth can be consciously activated, but not the ones around the eyes. So the muscle that tends our mouth can be consciously activated, but not the ones around the eyes. Not? Why I'm doing it right now then? Don't know. So when we are smiling without really meaning, we can recognize it as the eyes, or as the smile is only a mouth smile without eyes. Lines around the eyes can also appear in intense fake smiles, and the cheeks can bunch up, making it seem as if the smile were genuine. But when a smile is genuine, the fleshy part of the eye between the eyebrow and the eyelid moves downwards, and the ends of the eyebrows dip slightly. I see. You see it? Here on the other side you can see it. If I do it like this, they come definitely a little bit down, and I do not know what they meant by the part between the eyelid and... So the fleshy part of the eye between the eyebrow and the eyelid moves downward, and the end of the eyebrow dip slightly, and eyebrows dip slightly. Yeah, I guess I know what he means, or what they mean actually. Smiling is submissive. Barbara and Alan Pease go into how primates use smile with fear faces and play faces, both submissive geese just and say that smiling is serving much the same purpose in humans. Smiling tells you are not or non-threatening. Subordinates are more likely to smile in the presence of dominant and superior people, both in friendly and unfriendly situations. Superior people instead smile around subordinate people only in friendly situations. The superior person will also make subordinates laugh, but without laughing himself or laughing less, as a way to maintain his superiority. Yeah, this makes sense. Always just if I go through such paragraphs or such texts, I do just really kind of visualize it in my brain so that I can actually be like, yeah, I understand what they mean, and actually kind of think if it is kind of true or if it does make sense or not. Which is it's always important to go through texts if it's just in the newspapers, if it's on any forum, if it's here as a book summary. It's always important to go through these texts with some kind of critical mind. So not really believing everything and just being a little bit, could this be true or could this not be true? And it is especially important if you just, read things about nutrition and health and all these things, because a lot of people talk shit, a lot of people talk not shit, and a lot of people something in between, and it's always kind of difficult to really know what or who is really talking the truth and who is not. So keep attention to it, please, because it's actually pretty important. Barrow and LMP say we automatically copy the facial expression we see in other people. LMP says that's the reason why it's important to being able to smile even when you don't feel like it. It will influence other people's attitude and how they respond to you. Science has indeed proven that the more you smile, the more positive reactions others will give you. And according to Tony Robbins, it's also making you happier because you are smiling. And the thing is, I kind of feel it as well. I do just often kind of remember myself to smile because everything is good in my life, and there's, everything could be way worse. I do have everything I need. I'm right now sitting here just some kind of going for my dreams to be fulfilled, or just I'm working on what I like to work, and yeah, I can do it without any doubt and without any consequences or something. I do just have the opportunity, which is something so fucking, precious. I'm so grateful for me being able to do this. And I can now go and just drink some water if I want to. I can now eat an apple if I want to. I can just go outside and, have a little walk if I want to. These are all things that is not like, common for everyone. So just be grateful for the things you have. You could be in a way worse situation in my point of view. So I don't know your position and what position you are in. I really hope that you are in a fucking good position. But if not, it could be way worse. And most of the time, if you can see or look at it, the really rich people often came from very poor places, like Tony Robbins, Gary Vee as well, some kinda. Bill Gates, I don't know. I think not actually. Warren Buffett, I don't know. Yeah, Tony Robbins and Gary Vee. two really, really rich people. And yeah, they really just, got what they want, because they kind of have the perspective between, they know what it's like to live in shit and eat shit all the time and really do not have a lot of money. And, because of this perspective they had on life, I think they've never so much complained about things that are kind of stupid then to them, because complaining about how many likes you got on a video or on a post on Instagram or whatever is kind of stupid, to be honest. First of all, it doesn't say anything. It doesn't say how much people you just kind of changed yourself, some kind of influenced. And second of all, it's not that important. And it is also something that I have to remind myself on quite a lot, because I do just, I just see likes and comments and hearts and whatever there is every single day quite a lot. So it's something that I do have to keep my attention to without complaining and kind of, dwelling about, no, I just got 10 likes on this post. I do just look at it and I try to look at it objectively and see, okay, what can I do about this post, or how is this post different than the other posts who got a way better rating or way better like count or whatever. So this is also a thing. Yeah, some sort it's also kinda great to have, because you can analyze the post and see what post is doing good, what posts aren't doing good, and so on. But so LMPs also found out that smiling at appropriate times, such as the beginning of a negotiation, produces positive responses on both sides of the table, leading to higher sales ratio and more successful outcomes. Yeah, for me it makes pretty much sense, because the thing is, people always like to talk to positive people. You wouldn't really like to people who are just so fucking serious all the time, just having a quick smile and so on. This is just great, and it kind of relieves tension at my point of view. Just in terms of negotiating, if you're just, selling your car or whatever you're doing, and the other person is just so fucking, I don't know, so fucking serious all the time, it's first of all not that fun. It shouldn't be, but it isn't. And I think, just the whole relationship between you and the other person gets way better, and therefore, therefore everything gets better. Common types of smiling. This is always some kind of difficult for me to really go through, because I do not know a lot of them words, but I do actually know that you know them. So everything is good for you. I would have to look them up. So, but you get something out of it, and this is the important part about what I'm doing. So common types of smiling. Tight-lipped smile. The author says that the lips form a straight line and the teeth are concealed. It communicates you have a secret, an opinion that you don't want to share. P says that it's typical of women whom don't want to reveal they don't like someone, and it's a rejection signal. Other women get it, men never. You will also see in magazine pictures of successful businessmen who are saying, I got the secrets of success, but I won't be telling you. These people often talk about general rules to be successful, but rarely give their details. Conversely, Richard Branson, who always gives all he has got, always sports a full smile showing all teeth. So a tight-lipped smile. I do just have to... I do surely write it wrong. Yeah. Is it this one? This one. Yeah, it's like, I guess, it's... I do always prefer, that for me is always the option just doing like this smile, as I was just talking about, and really having a full smile. But I really feel more like a full smile, most of the time. The twisted smile shows opposite emotions on each side of the face. It can only be done deliberately and conveys sarcasm. I understand. It's like, if you just smile with one end of your mouth and the other end not, so it's like, a little bit cheeky and so on. Sideways looking up smile. When the head turned down and away while looking up with a tight-lipped smile, it looks secretive, but in a juvenile and playful way. It's a man's favorite, as it generates parental male feelings. So with the head turned down and away while looking up with a tight-lipped smile, it looks secretive, but in a juvenile and playful way. It's a man's favorite, as it generates parental male feelings. I think it's also some kind of to make yourself a little bit more vulnerable or more cute, because if you just have your head quite down but you look upwards, your eyes just seem to be way bigger than they actually are, which is actually the reason why babies have big eyes. Babies have big eyes because then the mother gets some kind of feeling of, this baby is cute, and won't kill it. to be really honest now, in really early days, I think women just had to kill their babies just because, or just didn't want them. So so because they have big eyes, they're just really cute, and they really, are so vulnerable and cute and small and so on, and so their mother wants them. Yeah, and I think it's actually the same thing with this man smile. So laughing makes you happier. Initially or intentionally producing smiles and laughter will make you spontaneously happy. Totally true, and I think it's great that they point out that it is spontaneously. And I think just because you're smiling all day long doesn't mean that you are actually happy all day long. It's, I think, only just for certain parts of the day or certain parts of your life, actually. Smiling and laughing to bond. Laughing is more than 30 times more likely to happen in social situations than when one is alone. Laughter has less to do with jokes and more to do with relationships. Yeah, that's totally true. Somebody could say something really, it's kinda difficult, because I do feel like, if someone is telling a great joke or just talking about something funny, I will totally like. The thing is, would I like more or louder if one of my friends would tell the same exact joke or the same exact situation or whatever? Maybe I think smiling for women and men. Barbara and LMP say women smile far more than men in both social and business settings, which can make a woman appear subordinate or weak in the presence of an unsmiling man. Pictures of unsmiling men were seen as less attractive and decoded as a sign of sadness. Pictures of unsmiling men were decoded as a sign of dominance. Women should smile less with dominant men in business situations and or mirror the amount of smile of men, and probably more in social and dating scenarios. P says that if men want to be more persuasive with women, they would do good to smile more in all contexts. And I think actually smiling is a great thing. It makes you happy, it makes others happy, it's just great. Smiling like a weirdo might not be the best thing to do. Besides the whole smiling topic. Laughter and love. The authors say women laugh more. So laugh like, I'm laughing, not like I love someone, but I am laughing because I'm smiling, So the authors say women laugh more than men. In courtship, the ability to make others laugh is a dominant trait. So the more a man can make a woman laugh, the more she will find him attractive. Women love dominant men and men love subordinate women. Humor makes you attractive to women. Women laugh at men they are attracted, and men are attracted to women who laugh at them. So it's kind of an endless cycle. If both are smiling and if both have a really great time, it will seem like, both are liking each other, which is just a really interesting way on really how women and men really kinda are connected, or kind of have different approaches of life, or different traits, which is very interesting. And I do always find it interesting to look at the gender's traits and be like, how could it, or how had it been in the really early days? Why do women have this and that, and why do men have this and that? Is there any advantage in nature because of that or something? It's really interesting for me. So very interestingly, Peace say men also become annoyed when one man dominates the joke telling. Particularly so when there are women around who are laughing, the men who are not laughing will think the joke teller is a jerk and not funny either. Because they kind of feel like, no, he's, getting my woman, I just wanted her, and so on, but he's taking her now, and some shit like this, which is totally, never mind. So arm signals, these are really great. The hand signals were already pretty great. The smile thing is also kind of great, but it really comes up to the context at my point of view. But the arm signals are also, or especially some things that I find personally pretty interesting and personally pretty valuable. So hiding behind barriers is an innate behavior of human beings. Folding one or both arms across the chest, we form a barrier as an unconscious attempt to block our threats or block out threats or undesirable circumstances. So at my point of view, it's just a protection of your body, just your chest and really these really sensitive body areas you're having. The arm crossing. Crossing arms in front of the chest is a sign that someone is nervous, negative, or defensive. As long as someone keeps arms folded in a folded position, a negative attitude will persist. A good idea can be then to give the person something to hold on that will lead them to unfold their arms. So thinking, especially in terms of a presentation where you do kind of have a physical product, giving them during the presentation. So if they do get into a defensive mood, you just give it to them and they will break up their defensiveness because they do not have their arms crossed anymore. The thing is, giving them something to hold in the beginning of a presentation, at my point of view, is not the best idea because you're just giving it to them. They may be looking at it just, before the presentation, before you actually have started. And then they look at it, be like, yeah, okay, it's cool or it's not cool. And, just put it somewhere else. And then they do have the chance to really cross their arms. So at my point of view, it's actually good to give it to them during the presentation. I'm just comfortable. The definitive book of body language goes into something I have experienced a few times. Some people will deny the significance of certain body language signals by saying they are just comfortable that way. Please say that of course we are more comfortable. If you're nervous, arms crossed will make you feel more comfortable. Totally true. And this is actually, then the thing that really contributes to thinking of Tony Robbins, because he says, motion creates emotion. And if also they say, if you're nervous and you cross your arms, you will definitely feel not that nervous because, you kind of have the protection or kind of have the comfortability or just, a better feeling about yourself. Yeah, that's pretty much underlying what Tony Robbins is saying. So for the law of cause and effect, having neutral people crossing arms in front of your chest also give you more negative thoughts about the speaker and you will retain less information. Arms crossing will also send out a message to the people around you, and that message is likely to be negative. So the message is simply avoid crossing your arms unless you specifically intend to, you don't agree, or you don't want to participate. It is actually also a great thing to really know what certain body language things are saying or what some body positions are actually saying, because you can use them consciously and can really then just tell people on a way another universal side or way in another universe actually that you do not want to do something or you do want to do something or you are into somebody or some things. There are so many options. This is actually, the other really great way about this, a really great thing about this. So reinforced arm crossings. Clenched fists with crossed arms show hostility on top of defensiveness. If there's a tight-lipped smile or clenched teeth and red face, an attack, either verbal or physical, might be imminent? I don't know. Conciliatory approach is recommended. So I just remember this, or not remember this, but repeat this. Clenched fists with crossed arms show hostility on top of defensiveness. So I do just try to kind of show it like this, because you can't really see the fists and your arms are pretty much, they are definitely crossed, but you can't see the fists as well. And if I have this on my face, then the message will be totally clear. No, I don't want to. Arm gripping. In the double arm grip, the person tightly grips both his upper arms to further strengthen his barrier. So okay, I now see. Yeah, so just around your biceps, basically. It's also a way to comfort oneself with a form of self-hug. You can sometimes see it in doctors and dentists, waiting rooms, or with first-time air travelers. It shows a negative, restrained attitude. Peace says that in Kurt, the climate may be using a first clenched arm crossed while the defendant may have adopted a double arm grip position. So I have to read this again. So Peace says that in Kurt or whatever, it's Court, the claimant may be using a it should be fist clenched arms crossed while the defendant may have adopted the double arm grip position. Okay, boss versus staff. The boss definitely has, now I don't know. So Barbara and LMP say that status influence arm gestures too. A general manager greeting new employees, for example, will not cross his arms and will either keep his hands to his side, behind his back, superiority, or in his pockets, non-involvement. The employees instead might cross their arms for the apprehension of being around the company's top person. If the GM, so the general manager, met a young up-and-coming superior type, the younger gun might cross his arm but keep his thumbs sticking out and pointing up. The thumbs up show a positive and self-confident attitude. Also, very interestingly, the authors say that defensive and submissive will be shown in symmetrical positions while defensive and dominant will take an asymmetrical pose. Very interesting. This book is really that book, besides all Dale Carnegie books and all other books pretty much combined, that really gives you a fucking lot of information. You just, you go through it like in 1-2 hours. I may be just taking way more because I do discuss it a little bit more deeply and, just read everything quite loudly. But it's pretty interesting and you can just, use everything. And this is the best part about it. You can use it immediately, pretty much. So the thumbs up, if the thumbs up arm crossed appears towards the end of a presentation, chances are you can go ahead and ask for the order. So I do just have to see. I do have to look it up. So thumbs up arm cross, which looks pretty weird. Why would somebody use this? I do really have to keep attention to if I'm actually using this, because for me it's not. Yeah, it's totally this one. Yeah, totally this one. But I think this is the end of the episode. But there will be definitely another episode for today as well. I'm quite thinking about if I should actually be making another body language episode, because I do know that you can get a lot out of it, but it might be also at the other side, or on the other hand, a little bit boring maybe if you just look at the same shit over and over and over again for multiple episodes after each and another. So therefore it might be actually a little bit better to just have a little bit of a mixture in it and do something else besides only body language. But I wish you the most fucking happiness I can give you, and I just wish I could give you so fucking much happiness, but I can, and I will. So I wish you a wonderful day, health, wealth, especially happiness, and all the other good things. So, I'll see you the next time. Bye.